Hi my angels, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to talk about mediumship. Is it fact or is it fraud? Well, in 2001, a psychologist from Harvard, professor at U of A, Gary Schwartz, did an experiment, a controlled experiment with 5 of the top mediums in the world. He was actually a skeptic himself, but the results that he got from this were astonishing. Made him a believer, actually. So is it fraud? Well, there is a lot of fraudulent mediums out there that claim they know how to speak to the dead, but they actually don't. Now, there's a lot of, let me just explain that when there's psychics and then there's psychic mediums. Now, can a psychic be a medium? No, not all of them. Can all mediums be psychic? Yes, most of them are. You start receiving, visions, and that's what, the whole psychic thing comes in. But it's sad to know that all these mediums that are doing it for monetary reasons and are doing it fraudulently and just taking advantage of the people that are grieving losses is really sad, because they're, for us at the real medium community, get a bad rap for that. So hence why there's so much skepticism in the mediumship world. So with that said, there is fraud out there. However, there's true mediumship as well. Now, you're probably asking, how does this actually work? How do you actually communicate with people from the other side? There's different abilities in your senses that you can use. Now, I believe there's like 9 clairs. We call them the 9 clairs. But the main 3 that psychic mediums use is clairvoyant, clairaudience, and clairsentience. Clairvoyant is seeing the vision, seeing the signs, being able to see. Clairaudience is being able to hear everything, the messages. Clairsentience is being able to feel the emotions that come through. And we do this all pretty much telepathically. And how it works is where you have a deceased person. Now remember that a medium is a conduit. It's channeling the messages from the spirit world down to the earth plane. They're on different astral planes, okay? Or we are, and they are. So the way it happens is a deceased spirit will have to, they vibrate on a different frequency than we do, very much faster than we are. That's why sometimes when you get mediums and you see them doing like live readings, they talk very fast because they're trying to keep up with the messages that are coming through. And so when they do this, they have to basically come down to a little bit of a lower level, and then the medium has to raise their vibrations to go up to their frequency, hence the mediumship. They have to meet somewhere in the middle. And this is why mediums get so exhausted after readings, because their energy is drained, because they have to go up to that level to meet in the middle. And not a lot of spirits, deceased people, can actually do this, especially for somebody that's just passed pretty recently. They haven't adapted, they haven't become acclimated enough to get this going and figure it out how to bring their energy or their vibrations down. Most of the time when you go get a reading, you want to hear, for example, for your mother that's passed on, and somebody else comes through, it's because probably they don't know how to reach that level yet. They haven't practiced it enough, or practice it enough really, to come to that level and be able to communicate. Now, you know, sometimes you can come back after, you know, a certain amount of years and they've already been able to do that. And most of the time, some people have so much energy that, some loved ones and some spirits can actually, if they see a medium, I mean, mediums are like magnets to deceased people. So once they see them and they start getting that vibration and they see that you're there, they start reaching out to you. And I've received a lot of messages that are spontaneous like that, where I've had a deceased person contact me to get a message across to whoever they're trying to reach. And it does happen that way. But basically, that's the way it works. So when you communicate mentally with spirit, that's the way the messages come through. They can talk to you, you can hear them. They can make you feel their emotions. That's how a lot of mediums know that, how they passed. And you can also see the signs. And it's a different language that you're speaking, that they're speaking with you. Obviously, they don't have a voice box. They don't have nothing like that. But you can, it's hard to explain, but it's telepathically. So sometimes with the emotions, you can actually feel the emotions and you can feel the way they pass. They can, as an empath, you can really feel that. And as an empath, you can actually feel other people's emotions that are living too. But when this is the way they basically communicate with mediums, and they're basically there to give you messages, to let you know that they're okay, to help you and guide you through your life. So with that, you can believe it. You can be a skeptic and continue to be a skeptic if you don't believe in this. But I'm here to tell you that I have given readings to people. They have validated. Now, sometimes you got to remember that the messages that we give you, we have no idea what you're talking about or what they're talking about. Or, you know, we may not even know you. You may not even be a friend or whoever it is, somebody that just came for a reading and I don't know anything about you, and here's this other person that's giving me I'm just relaying the messages. It's up to you to basically confirm those. You're the only one that's going to know what they're talking about. It may not even make sense to you at the time, because they're probably trying to give you something that maybe your relative knows about. So keep that in mind when you get readings, and don't write it off as like that's wrong information. Remember, we're trying to give you as much information as we can, and accurate information. But if, for example, if I see somebody and a deceased person and they're holding their throat, and I'm thinking maybe there was something wrong with their throat and that's the way they passed, or something like that, and in all reality, it means like there's probably a necklace involved or something. So keep that in mind. And when you get readings, don't write it off like, oh, they're just talking out of their, you know, whatever. But I guess what I'm trying to say is that there's so much communication and there's so much information coming through, and it's our job to interpret this the best way possible. And like I said, it's a different language that they're speaking. This is something new that we've never had to deal with before. And you know, it is a bit scary when all this starts happening. And, you know, just getting a little bit of my story, at the beginning, I did not know what was going on. I thought I was going a little bit crazy. So something told me that it was something more than, you know, my imagination. So I seeked out another medium, which became my mentor and guided me through the process. Now, before I seeked her out, I didn't know what was going on. Like I said, it went probably 1 or 2 years going through my awakening of what I was going through, and I had no idea what was happening. So I let when I was opening up this channel, this vortex, I let in, anything that wanted to come in. I did not protect myself like I should have. Now I know that I'm susceptible to these other energies. And what I mean by that is darker energies. I did let dark energies in, which is very scary and terrifying. And I was frightened by the whole thing. I knew at that point that it was something more than my imagination, because I saw it. I saw stuff that I never want to see again. But now I do know how to protect myself. So I see them every now and then, but I know what to do at that point, and it doesn't scare me anymore. It's part of life. And that's what mediums have to get used to. You are going to see the worst of the worst stuff that you don't ever want to see again. And so connecting to these people, I mean, when you connect to the other side, it's all loving energy. There's nothing up there on that plane that is evil, that is dark. Everything is a loving energy. And all they want to do is, send you messages of love to their loved ones. When you start connecting with the darker energies, the lower vibration, then you're in a low vibration. You need to pick that energy up and protect yourself, because they will attack, basically. Now, there's a different, and I'm not going to get into it, but there's earthbound spirits, which are not bad. They're just lost. They're just trying to get your attention. But one thing I do want to say is, so going back to, the loving light energy from your past loved ones, when you get signs, when you start the flickering of lights, or say you keep misplacing your keys, it's all signs of them being around you. Okay, so keep that in mind. If you smell, your dad's cologne or something like that, that's them being around you. They may not be able to communicate with you, but they'll find a way to do it. But they're just trying to let you know that they are there to protect you. They are around you. If a song comes on the radio when you're thinking about, a past loved one, then that's them being there with you. And a medium can validate stuff like that. So remember that we are magnets. So anytime that we're around and something happens that reminds you of that person, it's because they're connecting with you through that. Okay? So with that said, there's a lot of facts that that have been proven, that have come through as validations for mediumship. Now, it's up to you whether you want to continue to be skeptical or not believe it, or I don't know, what have you. But I'm just here to tell you that it is real. It's living reality for me. It's reality for the people that I have validated and have given readings to. So you can believe it if you want. And I basically did my best to explain to you of how it works. And there is a life after death. Our soul goes somewhere. It might stay here on the earth plane, like I said, with the earthbound spirits, which I'm not going to get into today. But we do have life after death. I truly believe it. I know, I've seen it, I've heard it, I've felt it. So I do want to close with this. Being a medium is not easy. Like I said, it could be terrifying at times, especially at the beginning. And it's very hard for us to go out in public. There's a lot of energies out there that try to come to you, and I'm an empath as well. So for me, going to large crowded places is really hard, because I feel everybody's emotion, and it just makes me not feel good. Going to hospitals or cemeteries, or sometimes malls will do, it's just not a good feeling. And it's really hard battling with these energies every day because they are constantly around you. So with that, I am going to close this video, and I hope this made sense to you, because I know this is a very controversial topic and it's very confusing to understand. So I hope that you were able to get something from it. But if you have any questions at all regarding this, I'll probably get a ton, maybe not, I don't know. Leave them in the comments and I will try to answer them as much as I can, and I'll try to get to them, or every single one of them if I can. Okay, so in closing, I did want to close with this, and it's my Talking to Heaven Oracle deck. So if you're watching this and you were prompted to watch this, and if you're watching it to the end, this message might resonate with you, somebody that's passed. And if it does, let me know, comment below. But let me see what Spirit has to say. I watch over you every day. So hope this made sense to somebody out there. And I will see you in my next one. Namaste.